What's going on, guys? It's Kirk from Lynch-directed Media. We're on week 4 of SeptemPeaks, and this is one whole video dedicated to part 8, and I have with me Tommy J.
Yo, yo.
And we're just going to get right into it. Basically, we start with Mr. C and Ray driving in the car away from the prison. And then somehow Mr. C sends their tracker that someone has on their car to a semi truck
with his little janky app.
It's so weird. Yeah, I don't know how. They don't ever explain it, which is fine.
Yeah, it doesn't.
You don't need to know how, but it's just so weird and truncated, the way they. I don't know. It's weird.
But as for everything else in Twin Peaks, it works.
Yeah. It definitely works.
It works.
It works for what they're going for.
Yes,
he basically sends the text message of a license plate of a nearby vehicle to this number, and then dumps the phone. So I'm assuming it's because he's sending some tracker.
Okay.
But I don't know. I guess you don't know for sure, but that's kind of what you assume.
Yeah, that's what you get from the whole.
Yeah. At this point, Mr. C, he has his friend in the glove box, and we know about that,
Right.
but Ray doesn't, and so he has a surprise for Ray. And then they get to where they're going, and you find out Ray took the bullets out of the gun. So actually, Ray did know about it. And then Ray says, "Trick you, fucker," and then he shoots him twice, right in the chest. Ray sees these ghost-looking people come out of the distance, and they're pretty much like woodsmen, but they're transparent and they're all overlapping and really
still dark,
surrealist.
but really weird,
really dark and creepy. How did you the first time watching this? What were going through your head? What were words?
I feel like the same thing that was going through what's his name Ray's head.
Mm-hmm.
It's just first of all, what's going on, but it's so crazy that you can't look away because there's a field of people that come and just start passing through Ray.
It's really
ghost mode.
It's interesting how the audience is in the same shoes as Ray in the sense that you can't, like you said, it's like a car crash. You can't look away.
We can't replay the sound, but the whole atmosphere, the sound and the woodsmen doing their thing is pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's almost like a screaming thumping. It's crazy, dude.
And then it is.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say when they're rubbing the blood all over his face and everything. Oh my god.
And you mentioned too that the scene has more impact after having watched some of the behind the scenes
commentary.
Yeah, I think you're definitely right about that because having watched anything with Lynch on set gives it more depth, but especially that particular scene, I don't even want to describe it. Just go watch the behind the scenes.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you can,
because
they gotta have it on YouTube or something. Also.
Yeah, I'm sure there's something on YouTube, but worst case, on the DVD thing, just look up, or even look up people talking about it because you'll get a good idea for it. And we'll put plenty of pictures in the episode here. Yeah, so the woodsmen come and they come to fix or save Mr. C. And then we just get really nightmarish dark imagery here and then,
flashes of light. It's
it's weird because it kind of coincides with how the Black Lodge, how people going back and forth from that, there's always flickers of light and stuff, and then you have the scene from Fire Walk with Me with the guy in the lamp and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's it all ties together somehow.
I try to remember if that was from Fire Walk with Me or season 2 or what it is from Fire Walk with Me.
Yeah, it's extended in the missing pieces, but in the actual movie it's a little bit. And then, like you said, Ray gets this sense of paralysis, and he doesn't want to. He just isn't able to leave.
He isn't able.
The spot he's in. Yeah.
It seems like he wants to, but he
definitely. Yeah, you're right. He definitely wants to, but he's locked in this spot he's sitting on.
You have a nightmare or something that you're screaming in your sleep. That's literally what it reminds me of.
Yeah, it reminds me of sleep paralysis.
Yes.
You definitely
because you can't move your mouth, but you're kind of
sleep, yeah, dude. I've only ever gotten it once, that I can remember vividly.
Right.
And dude, sleep paralysis is not fun.
I used to get it a lot more when I was a kid. Now I don't really.
Yeah, I don't remember
maybe
ever
because
getting
I actually sleep now. I always try to stay up as a kid. It'll fuck you up then.
That's true.
It'll get you.
Ray's definitely getting some waking sleep paralysis, I guess.
Yes. Big time.
And then yeah, we get here after Ray leaves the scene. We get that he was actually like plotting to kill Mr. C with Philip Jeffries, David Bowie's character.
Yeah.
So that's pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah. It's just like whenever these events pop up, it's like, where the hell in the timeline is this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, where is this going on at? Like, what is happening? But,
right. Yeah. And then we get the 9 Inch Nails.
Yes, sir.
And I was gonna leave this all up to you because
this whole little segment.
Yeah, bro, you love this scene.
No, yeah, just like the entire scene is definitely cool. Because I mean, I heard of them from you, like the 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah,
in reality. But yeah, I've never seen him in person. Like, I don't know the lead singer's name.
Trent Reznor.
Yeah. He definitely kills that entire performance for me. Like, even though the whole band is up there, him for some. I mean, he's a lead singer, of course, but. Yeah, his entire performance, like the outfit, is just very fitting for the episode.
It's one of those,
especially after the dark shit that just takes place, and then I mean, the entire episode 8 is like, all right, crazy ass event, even crazier event, like just the entire time. It's trying to upscale itself.
There's almost no plot.
Yeah, there's no. Literally, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's just like mind fucking you the entire time, but yeah. The song was just like fucking cool, especially if they just stick that in the middle of an episode, like that epic song. Like, how do you just like, you know what I'm saying?
It works really well.
Then right after that is
No, go ahead. Yeah.
Right after that is like the atomic bomb scene, right?
Yes,
I believe, or maybe I have it.
Yeah, well, no, yeah, you see a blip just of Mr. C waking back up.
That's what it is. And then
you get
okay,
the atomic bomb, yes. Which
you're right, because as soon as the 9 Inch Nails scene ends, Mr. C literally like gasps.
He has like a Dracula moment.
Yeah, like literally.
It's great. It's so great. Like you said, we get a time code. It's July 16th, 1945, White Sands, New Mexico, and we get the atomic bomb, and we just get this super experimental, strange, ethereal.
How do you even?
Yeah, there's not words to describe the visuals.
At all. Like,
yeah, because you can't. There's nothing.
There's nothing.
The weird thing I will say, the first time watching that episode, I remember getting the feeling that I was a specimen, because so you get you go into the atomic cloud, and then as you go in, you get these weird visuals, and the first one you get is almost a weird lensy type visual you get from liquid in a jar.
Okay.
And that's kind of the feeling I got. So maybe Lynch was showing us the journey of an alien that would be in Area 51, which I don't know how that would tie into what's going on, but that's just the vibe I got. I know it's really weird and specific, but
that makes sense though.
Seeing all the all the spacey stuff, I was maybe that. But then people equate that to 2001, the whole Stargate sequence.
Oh yeah.
And how it gets really colorful.
See, kind of, but it's also different. After seeing 2001, it's because even when we watched it, we were saying oh, this is kind of there's parts of it that are kind of like episode 8, but it's not. Episode 8 is definitely much more just chaotic. I feel there's a lot more explosions and I don't know why I always get a sense of that whole like I said, the atoms clashing together, but also in space how things just collide and they'll create new things and everything.
The Big Bang.
The Big Bang, yeah.
That's very true. I think possibly because of what we talked about, how there's minimal plot, mostly because it's a lot like 2001 in the way that there's no plot. Really?
And
it's mostly just visual symbology, and it's pretty much what drives the whole episode. And I think that's the main reason people compare them, because visually they're not. It's only similar because you're seeing removed circumstances that don't really have a human subject,
right?
And the only difference with 2001 is you're seeing it through a human character's eyes, kind of.
Yeah.
And then, in Twin Peaks, it's just this is what's happening.
This is what's happening. Yeah,
you don't even know if you're a human right now. Do you remember what was going through your head seeing this shit the first time?
It's another one that just it's what can you think about when watching it? You know what I mean? What could your mind even try to put together like what is
Right.
going on. You know what I mean? Like you can have a couple of ideas, but the longer it goes, it's just like what the fuck?
It's like even though I had that very vivid idea, it's like what the fuck does that mean?
You're gonna be trying to clasp on, and then you just get pushed back into the ocean.
Yeah, like the closest they get to aliens is like the whole Major Briggs thing.
Yeah.
You know, like that's the closest, and like they never really say aliens. Like they talk about other beings and like
what did he say? Like other galaxies or something? Yeah, some crazy shit.
It's an injustice to try to like just talk about.
That's what I'm saying. It's so hard to even the little that I've said it doesn't describe. Like you just got to see the entire episode.
Please watch. I mean, obviously watch The Return. Don't.
But
I've heard of a lot of people that aren't really into Twin Peaks jump into The Return and like it. So
okay,
just if you want, maybe just try The Return because I think they give you enough. It's kind of like Ash vs. Evil Dead, where they give you enough of the backstory to where you don't have to have seen.
Yeah,
you know, like they acquaint you with enough information of the characters that you get invested just by knowing that there is a history. You know.
Ash vs. Evil Dead does a good job at it, I gotta say. Shout out to that show. Like, they'll even use like the old movie film. It's like, oh man, that's awesome.
So then, here we get who we're pretty sure is Judy. It's not like obviously confirmed.
I mean, but still.
Yeah, everyone. There's like a general consensus on the internet that it's Judy.
It's Judy.
Yeah, so. We have her hands are backwards, so it's kind of like the hold my arms bend back thing that we had with Nadine, and Laura even says that. And there's a couple weird instances of it, but and then we get the like big palace place that we assume is the White Lodge, I think, right? Yeah. It's this really like big, majestic looking building on a mountain, and it's way
like surrounded in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah. You were like, how the fuck does this building exist?
Yeah.
Like, why did they? You know what I mean?
Then I forgot it was like what it was.
Well, yeah, but still, it's like very nonsensical.
Yeah, it's very
like Dr. Seuss type logic. Yeah,
like the only windows were the slits. There's like 3 or 4 slits on the side.
And then we just go into the one little tiny window. Introduced to Senorita Dito, which is like, it's so weird because I don't think she ever has lines, even when she comes back later in the show. But she's very important to like Lynch. If you like watch the on-set stuff with him and hear him talk about her character, she's a embodiment of goodness. She's like a guardian angel type character, you know.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool. A lot of Eraserhead vibes here with the black and white, the ethereal, weird ambient sounds we keep getting.
Very much.
I think a lot of how Lynch has said that Eraserhead is his most spiritual movie. So like connecting I think the black and white aesthetic to him is like innocence. Because you have like the White Lodge and you have... We've talked.
We've talked. Yeah.
Just because it's like harkening back to when he was a kid and movies were black and white and that kind of thing. So
also, it's like how he has a thing with like technology or anything that uses electricity.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Like newer age technology that uses electricity or gadgets and stuff like that. Even like light, like basic light or
literally
like phones and stuff. Yeah, we have an alarm going off in this big like.
Oh yeah, I always call it
a furnace looking.
Yeah,
thing?
I always call it like a Dalek from Doctor Who.
Yeah, you're right.
Like I always call
it looks just
that.
like that.
To me, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with. Yeah, you're right.
To all my little Doctor Who fans out there.
Hey, hell yeah! In walks the giant, pretty much like standing right behind the thing, and then he walks out from behind it. But then the giant, he walks over to like a movie screen.
Yeah,
and he starts
looks
floating up in the air.
Yeah,
and then we have this gold kind of like coming from his face, which is a really weird visual because I think 2-3 years later he was in Dr. Sleep and he was like sucking the kid's soul out. Yeah, so it's like a weird because it's weird that it's the same actor.
I think it just ties into like David Lynch's dream theory. Maybe just everything
connects.
Somehow. Everything's connected, but everything's different also somehow. It's weird.
Yeah. The gold ball appears to him out of air.
Yeah.
And then he like kind of like brings it closer to them, and then Senorita Dito grabs it and like kisses it, and then sends it to the black and white Earth on the movie screen.
Doesn't it show like Laura's face in there for a quick second? Or
yeah,
something?
yeah. Laura's face is definitely it's the Laura's face from like the picture where the hair's all up. Like I think it's the homecoming.
Yeah, the homecoming.
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys know what we're talking about.
You guys know. Then we get another time card, 1956, New Mexico desert, and then we have the young couple, who up until this point I never thought about it, but you remarked that he talks a little bit like Duncan Todd.
The dream,
yeah, and I was just like, wow, yeah, I could see that, like him being maybe like that guy's dad, and like maybe
something. For
whatever reason, maybe this is the backstory of that guy's parents.
That would be crazy.
Like, I thought you may have been onto something there. So, and the woodsman, I love how he just kind of like appears out of the darkness. It's really, really creepy and eerie, and like a simple effect. And then, the first time he says his little "got a light," he says it 6 times. I lost track after that. But then we get the young couple walking home, and they have this really like awkward kiss moment, but it's like sweet and innocent.
Yeah, they're just little kids.
It's like, cute, yeah. And then the Platters song, I don't remember what the title is, but it's When the Twilight Is Gone. And no songbirds are singing, which made me think of the
two birds.
The two birds, but also going back to the beginning, whenever there was the Where We Live, the birds sing a happy song. There's always music in the air. And I was just like, damn, like he always picks like songs, because that song has been around since way before Twin Peaks. And, like, it's just so cool that he picked a song with lyrics that tied it to the beginning of Twin Peaks, you know?
He weaves his stories together with a fine little needle, for sure.
Yeah, him and Mark Frost, bro. They killed the return.
Also.
Yeah, they killed the return for sure, bro.
Yes.
We get the woodsman entering the radio station, and he crushes the secretary's head. God damn it, Doc. But then he says, "Got a light" twice to the DJ guy before he says the "horse is the white of the eyes" thing. And I think he said it a few more times to the woman before he killed her, but I like I said, I lost track. It says the horse is the white of the eyes thing, and then that has an effect on, which we mentioned in the Lords of Salem review, is a lot like the Lords of Salem.
Big time.
Because it has this widespread effect on like a random mechanic and then a random diner waitress, and like they're just like falling to the ground, and you don't know if they're dying or if they're like just passing out, but it's having this really widespread effect, and the white horse ties into like the earlier seasons of Twin Peaks with Sarah and Laura having seen the white horse in their house.
Right.
And so it's another thing where he's tying one piece of it, but then the rest of it's like you got to figure it out, you know. Having just like the first time, like again, I just like hearing your first reactions to stuff. If you can put yourself back in the mindset of watching this the first time, do you remember what you thought of like the woodsman and like him, like just showing up saying the whole "got a light"? What was going through?
Just like the first time he said "got a light"?
Yeah, like just how. Yeah.
I mean, I was just confused, you know.
Yeah.
Like I was like, "What the hell is even going on?"
It's so like disjointed.
Yeah, until he started killing people, then I was like, "Oh, he's a fucking demon, like entrancing people." Yeah. Before that, I was just like, "Got a light? What does that mean?" You know what I mean? I honestly did not think he was like. I knew he of course he seems evil, like his whole demeanor and everything, but like I didn't know he was gonna be like fucking killing people.
I just thought about something. I wonder if, because like I said, a lot of Twin Peaks is commentary on film and television.
Right.
And I wonder if, like I said, with the whole explosions in the surreal sequence,
right,
being like a comment on action movies and how they've just gotten really big and dumb, and like explosions have taken over the action movies, you know, and they're not like art anymore. I wonder if the whole "got a light" and like him having just 2 things that he says,
right,
is like a comment on like taglines and catchphrases for movies, maybe.
I wonder.
And then like also this scene gets like really schlocky, violent, with like the brains and shit like falling out of people's heads.
Yeah.
And it's really disjointed with the rest of like the rest of the episode doesn't get. You know what I mean?
I never noticed. Yeah, you're right.
So I'm wondering if that's a connection to like horror movies and like slasher movies, and how like the excess of like the simplicity of how dumb we've made movies,
right?
But also like the excess of the gore and like explosions, and like we rely more on the excess of film than we do like actually using it to tell a story kind of thing.
Big time.
And I mean, again, that all could be bullshit, and it could just be weird shit being made up, But
that would be crazy.
It gets people talking.
Yeah, it gets people talking.
But then I made mention. I always say this every time I watch this specific episode. He swipes the record player away from the record, like Sarah Palmer does in season 1. I think it may even be like first or second episode.
Okay.
I think, yeah. It's when Leland's first like starting to lose it.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it's almost exactly the same way. It's the same arm, like the left arm, swiping it the same way. And the thing that gave it away to me is watching the behind the scenes stuff. David Lynch instructs him to. He says like with your left hand, take your left hand and swipe it away really fast. And the way.
Okay.
I guess seeing Lynch do that and then going back and rewatching Twin Peaks again and seeing Sarah Palmer do it like exactly the same way, I'm like, okay, there's a motif there. There's something that he's trying to connect there.
Trying to get us to see.
Yeah. People theorize that the like weird little bug monster that shows up, that's like the darkness that we see in Sarah Palmer later.
Okay.
This is like little Sarah, I guess, which I guess kind of lines up. Right, but it's just weird. Like, I don't know. I don't like that it would be that clear cut.
Yeah,
it's like I'm glad they keep it ambiguous because it doesn't really look like Sarah Palmer
at all.
But it could be, I guess. Then the woodsman finally kills the DJ and he leaves, and he gets this. I love how they shoot that. It's just like this really flat shot of him walking, and then he just disappears. They don't even use an effect there. He just actually disappears.
Just goes into the darkness.
And then we hear a horse whinnying.
Yeah.
And then we get the credits.
And then it shows the kid again during the credits just sleep.
Yeah, it shows her asleep after she's like swallowed up the creepy little monster thing. Yeah. And yeah, that's part 8.
It's so crazy because like I feel like we just talked about part 8, but we did not cover like. I mean, because you just have to see it, you know what I mean? We didn't cover, like, the actual depth of Part 8, and I feel so, like, bad for not being able to put into words what actually happened.
Yeah, like, I tried to make sure I touched on everything that I remember us talking about, but I feel like there's way more. Obviously, there's, like, a much more in-depth level to everything in the Part 8, episode, I guess. But, we're just kind of talking about, like, off-the-cuff stuff we've talked about in the 4 or 5 times we watched this together,
right?
And then stuff we're just getting now. So, let us know what you guys think. This is probably the most talked about Twin Peaks episode ever.
Part 8.
I would say so. And Lynch really killed it. It's the most experimental I've ever seen of like any major network television show.
Yes,
like easily.
Yes,
and. Like, Lynch has brass fucking balls for that, and he's awesome for that. And, I can't say it's one of my favorite episodes. It is fantastic. It's probably the best episode of The Return. But, personally, I just, there's so many other bits in The Return that I love more.
That are cool, yeah. It's hard to say, like, yeah.
Because, like, I love, like, the Mitchum brothers are great.
Dude.
And then, like... just all the stuff with like Dougie Coop at the beginning of the show, and then when Cooper actually like comes back.
Yes, when he actually comes back.
Yeah.
Fucking, yeah.
Right, yeah, we don't, yeah. But yeah. So all in all, how do you feel? Like, where do you put The Return, or where do you put Part 8? Is that like... Is that like your favorite episode of The Return? Or is
I wouldn't say my favorite, but I think it's definitely up there as far as like say I was going through and just picking like a couple episodes for everyone to watch. Part 8 would definitely be in the list of episodes. You know what I mean?
So it's like you think like top 5 like the whole series?
Yeah, big time.
Okay, yeah.
Big time.
I would agree for sure.
Because that's like just such like concentrated Lynch right there, like into our veins, bro.
Yep.
Like
that's what the producer meant when he said pure heroin.
Dude, like literally, like
Part 8, yeah.
I think like we're like, what was going on in Part 8 after like the explosion? We go into it. That was just Lynch's like thinking. We were in his like neural pathways, just like
Yeah, we actually got a peek into his brain. Yeah.
I'm like, what's going on in there? He's like, go ahead and look. Still no answers. Like,
it's like the scene with Sarah later in this scene. She's like, you really want to fuck with this?
Dude.
I love Sarah Palmer, dude. She's such an interesting character.
I can't lie, she played her part so well that even like in the behind the scenes stuff, like the one where they were eating the pie together, I was still looking at her with a little like fear in my heart. I was like,
yeah, it's
you're not
crazy,
gonna kill me, are you?
It's crazy how her like grief personified into
yes.
like something like, yeah, it's creepy, dude. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for listening and watching SeptemPeaks with us. We're gonna close out. We're probably gonna do at least like the last 2 episodes. I want to do probably a couple more before then. Any last thoughts, Tommy? Or that's it?
Yeah, I got it all out for sure.
All right, thank you guys, and we'll see you soon.